Okay, in this short video, I'm going to be talking about Fear and Trembling by Kierkegaard. The book is published with a pseudonym, Johannes de Silento. Actually, no one was fooled. They all knew Kierkegaard was the author, but Kierkegaard was trying to tell us something with Johannes de Silento, which is translated as Johannes the Silent. And I'll say a little bit more towards the end. But the purpose of this video is just to give a brief introduction, focusing on the first parts of the book and framing the book. And in other videos, I'll go ahead and dive deeper into some of the argument structures. All right, very simply, the purpose of Fear and Trembling is to give a account or an explanation of what Johannes thinks faith is. Kierkegaard thought that Christian Europe had lost its grip or understanding of the true meaning of faith, and this book was going to teach everyone what it actually was about. I have this sort of rock altar here on the picture because Johannes begins the book, and really the whole book is this very, very deep, intense veneration or admiration for Abraham from the Bible. And the story he really focuses on most is this Genesis 22 story where Abraham's asked by God to sacrifice his son. And Abraham is so faithful, I guess, that he's willing to do it. And he tries to unpack this from there. Okay, so I'm going to go into two features of faith that Johannes points out. One is the absurdity of faith. And so the idea is that faith looks unreasonable from the outside, specifically as a perspectival aspect to it. From the outside, he unpacks as human calculation or worldly knowledge, some sort of naturalistic understanding. And also the person with faith, or Abraham, knows this. So one interpretation of why Johannes the Silent is silent is this understanding that in trying to explain your faith, it's not going to be justifiable to an outsider. But in the end, the faithful, the person with faith, believes in virtue of the absurd. And so he really dives into this example of Abraham who knows it's absurd, it's crazy. He was promised a son, now he has a son, and now God's asking him to go and sacrifice him, essentially kill him. And the absurdity is supposed to be this sort of tension that he knows that God wouldn't ask him to do this, and God's asking him to do this. All right, another interesting feature that Johannes points out is that faith gives us this ability to receive things in this world with joy. He doesn't see faith as something just related to the afterlife, but something that is meant for the present, here and now kind of world. And I think we might ask, well, why is it that faith allows one to receive joy? Why is that even relevant to faith? And so the example he says is Abraham is happy to get Isaac back. Okay, let's pause on that and compare it to these two nights that he brings in. There's this night of infinite resignation, basically is detached from all the sorts of things in this world. But then there's also the night of faith that detaches but can still enjoy the world. And the best sense I can make of this is imagining someone who wakes up every morning and has the same attitude and gratefulness to God for that morning. So if they wake up at 5 in the morning, they say, God has given me an early morning. And they wake up, let's say, at 11:30, and they, God has given me a late morning. That person is in a way detached from the morning, but in some sense still enjoying it. Whereas someone who was completely detached would just not enjoy the morning at all. Okay, and so Johannes thinks that a crucial ingredient of faith is that you have this sort of detachment, but still enjoyment. All right, those are just some few introductory remarks I wanted to make. I will be making more videos on this topic and analyzing the structure of the argument.